Australia. Vast, remote, hostile.
Bloody hell, what a trip!
A dangerous place
Holy
to be a pilot. Battling hazardous terrain with split-second decisions.
Still at 35,000 volts. Jesus me.
Men and women getting the job done.
Welcome to the war. This is it here.
These are Australia's Outback Pilots.
bloody hell!
Putting it all on the line for a life in the skies.
That's the Outback flying. You get what you get.
This time on Outback Pilots,
Where are you going now?
it's master and apprentice when Grant Wellington teaches son Matt the dangerous art of cattle mustering.
The first 3 hours in that paddock will be the hardest 3 hours of your life.
Flying plumber Scott Anderson continues to keep the Outback's waterworks flowing as he races against the setting sun.
It's already started to get into that climate phase.
And Ash Williams takes on 220,000 volts
It's not good, that much voltage running through something.
in a high-wire act of precision flying.
Feel that wind now on the boom? Yeah, it's pretty strong.
The Kimberley in the remote top end of Western Australia.
What's your ETA, Matt? 1645.
Father and son team, Grant and Matt Wellington, are on their way to a mammoth muster on Marida Station. They have just 2 days to flush out 2,000 stubborn cows worth $1.4 million, roaming a 100 square kilometre paddock. It'll push master and apprentice to the limit.
Land there close to that gate there somewhere. Just find somewhere there that... Oh, land there myself.
Bigger than Germany, the Kimberley is home to just 40,000 people, but it has over 600,000 head of cattle.
There's a lot of clean skin bulls here.
Veteran Grant has been rounding them up for 27 years.
Fly helicopters chasing cows. That's the best job there is.
But the job has just got a whole lot more stressful. His son has joined him in the air.
His mother, she was actually quite concerned about the fact that he was going to be a helicopter pilot.
You know, it's always been something that I wanted to do from a real young age.
24-year-old Matt grew up in his dad's slipstream.
I started taking Matt in a helicopter when he was about 8 or 9 years of age.
Now Matt's hoping his own mustering career will take off.
I only did my licence last year. I've been, you know, sort of mustering and flying most of the time ever since.
But he's entering a dangerous world.
I could list 25 people that I know in the 27 years that have lost their lives mustering. If you make a bad decision, you can't reverse it. Within a split second and you're in the ground.
For a rookie pilot, the risks are even greater.
Matt's experience level at the moment is pretty low.
Matt has flown less than 300 hours.
Between 0 and 500 hours is a bad time for a mustering pilot. You learn to fly one of these helicopters fairly quickly, all within that 500 hours. And that overconfidence trips a lot of people up.
Tomorrow's job is the biggest they've tackled together. Grant must teach his son how to muster on this massive scale.
How far are you going to go, Matt? You're going to run half a mile.
Keep out of the dust. Absolutely no need to get down too low in the dust and boogie with them.
He's obviously just trying to make me be the best that I can be, if you know what I mean. You know, he's probably a little bit harder on me, but, you know, he wants me to stay alive.
Alice Springs, over 800 miles away, in the centre of Australia.
Hello, Princess.
Scott Anderson is farewelling his kids and wife Jackie.
Have fun.
Nice, bye.
Yeah, I do worry about him. I want to make sure he comes home safe to us.
It's the start of another hard day in the skies.
I'm just doing a check for the control surfaces to make sure nothing is loose, cracked, broken or otherwise.
Scott is no ordinary pilot.
We want to know about it now, not when we're in the air.
He's a flying plumber.
Assumption's the mother of all mistakes, mate.
Today, Scott is booked up.
Okay, Val, I just need a job card for Fink, and then I'm out of here.
He faces a monster 925-kilometre round trip from Alice to Fink and on to Uluru. But he's worried there aren't enough hours in the day.
If I get to choose to fly in the daytime or at night time, I'm always going to fly in the daytime. I think that's only sensible and safe.
No pilot wants to fly without radar at night in the desert. With time against him, Scott's keen to get going.
Bastard, see it just there?
But this small chip
Just here on the prop,
is a big problem.
we've copped a stone, which has caused a bit of an indentation. Now, what we don't want to happen is it's really, really important that this doesn't grow any larger.
A prop breaking off mid-air could be catastrophic.
You get the soft side of a file and you really slightly just dress that mark out.
Fortunately, it's a simple fix.
By taking the edge away, we stop any fracture points, so then that can't sort of work away, and then cause a fracture through the propeller. So I always have a really good look at the blades on the propeller on any aeroplane that I fly. And that comes from being a bush pilot.
His first job will take him 220 kilometres into the desert to a remote settlement called Fink. A road maintenance crew have lost pressure to their water supply. But first, he's got to get off the ground.
There's stuff going everywhere this morning, so pretty busy for a little regional airport, isn't it?
Alice Springs Airport is in the middle of nowhere, but it's also a tourist hub. Outback Pilots must share airspace with much larger, faster passenger jets.
You have to keep your mind on the gate. You're in a tiny little aeroplane flying around with massive aeroplanes. That's why it's so important every pilot knows what they are.
X-ray Sierra, clear for takeoff, make left turn.
Mission Flight 2500 30, clear for takeoff, left turn, Lima X-ray Sierra.
With planes lining up to take off and others trying to land, it's now or never for Scott.
Some of these guys are getting on at 700 or 800 kilometres an hour. You don't want to be their way because you're going to lose that argument.
1037.
A lot of traffic around at the moment, need to keep our game on.
Just as he's airborne,
Showing up, we've got traffic side now.
air traffic control clears another plane for takeoff. It's moving fast.
He's a high performance aeroplane, so he's going to catch us.
Scott has no radar. He needs to work out where the other plane is, and quickly.
Charlie, Golf Quebec, make left turn. Building up a mental picture of his position in the sky from what we can hear from his radio transmissions. When you've got any aeroplane on the same about tractors, you want to be aware of this there and you want to get eyes on it. They're really, really, really hard to see. Where are you, Charlie, Golf Quebec? I want to know where you are.
Over 1,600 kilometres away in Western Australia, Ash Williams and Ben Hill are taking on one of the most dangerous jobs in aviation.
Feel that wind now on the boom? Yeah, it's pretty strong.
Flying just metres from high voltage power lines.
Certainly one of the hardest flying jobs there is in the helicopter world.
Their mission is to clean insulator coils connected to a deadly 220,000 volts of live electricity. And they're going to do it with water.
Maybe slightly crazy too to do this job.
We can't afford to have one human error or, miss one thing and something could happen. It could be all over.
Yep, good for high.
To get the job done and stay alive, the relationship between pilot Ash and linesman Ben is critical.
We talk and make sure there's nothing going on in our lives that's going to really affect our work.
The chopper is a military-style Hughes MD 500 with a special modification.
These wire cutters, you can see the large one at the bottom and we got another one at the top. These are for a last resort for one of those wires we don't see. If we do run into a power line, the line will actually get caught and guided up into the cutters and slice actually through the wires. Clear? Okay.
Ash and Ben face a massive task. They must clean a section of line that runs over 500 kilometres across the Outback, from Narrogin to Kalgoorlie.
We've still got well over 1,200 towers before we reach Kalgoorlie, so we've got a long road ahead of us yet.
You all good, Betty?
Yep, you're good. Driveway's clear.
Coming left?
Yep, you're clear.
Every day, Ash and Ben must balance getting the job done with coming back alive.
The time pressures sometimes can get to you. You can't let anything jeopardise safety.
One lapse of concentration, one miscalculation could mean the difference between life and death.
Got structure coming up.
Normally, spraying a high-voltage network with water would be suicidal. But this water has been demineralised. It's safe to use.
Do this, mate.
The risk is, if it becomes even slightly contaminated,
Coming out. Ready.
it will go live with over 200,000 volts.
You on channel, Matt?
Yeah, you got me there?
Yeah, I got you.
In far northwestern Australia, father and son mustering team Grant and Matt Wellington are headed for a showdown with over 2,000 cattle. For station manager Chris Daniel, over the next 48 hours, a fortune will be made or lost. A ship is waiting at port for the delivery of the herd, worth nearly $1.5 million.
The boats are relying on us to, they give us a date and we've got to get everything prepared and make it happen.
It's this kind of pressure that young guns like Matt must learn to cope with.
Probably one of the things that makes this job potentially dangerous to a lot of new pilots is the pressure. And that can force a lot of people to make the wrong decision.
It's expensive to muster this way,
So tomorrow,
but if it goes to plan, it's incredibly effective.
you know, we can do it in one day as opposed to the old style of, 20 horsemen. It took a week to muster the same area.
5 a.m. Time to head for the skies.
You kick it in the guts and we'll just get going now.
Yep.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
To round up and control a herd this size, Grant and Matt will need to be perfectly synchronised.
Matt, where are you going now?
But they're off to a bad start.
Matt? What? Where the are you going?
I don't know. You told me to go and work them out of the gate, or you talk about these ones here.
Matt's confusion is forcing the first mob of cattle in the wrong direction.
Okay, I'm going to start this again.
It's going to be a long, hard day for the apprentice.
You savvy that?
Savvy?
That's how you got to push them out.
I don't like aeroplanes up in Quacker.
Scott Anderson's got a high-performance, high-speed plane on his tail.
I reckon he's going to come on Matrix out the front.
He's finding it hard to locate and fears the worst could happen.
There's been many, many documented cases of in-air collisions, and that's just not even something I want to think about.
Scott anxiously scans the airspace around the aeroplane.
Where are you, Charlie Golf Quebec? I want to know where you are. They're really, really, really hard to see. In fact, when you can see them clearly, they're too close. There he is.
The supercharged Bonanza is hurtling upwards towards Scott at 500 kilometres per hour.
The last thing we want is an aeroplane climbing into another aeroplane.
With the plane directly below him and climbing, it's now the most dangerous time.
I can't see him yet on the other side.
Climbing through 8,000, starting up quick.
The other plane has passed. Scott's in the clear.
Only time it's ever good to see one clearly matters when you're taxiing on the ground. Never in the air.
From the chaos of peak hour traffic, Scott flies into the emptiness of the desert.
They're sort of starting to skirt the edge of the Great Simpson Desert.
The Simpson is the size of England and Wales together. With the same barren landscape in all directions, finding the plane's destination takes an eagle eye.
You've got to spot that little brown patch in that big wide open space. There's the beautiful Fink River, the oldest river on the planet apparently.
Fink is a gruelling 10-hour drive for the nearest tradesman.
In an aeroplane, we can cover those distances in 10 or 15% of the time.
For Scott, it's a 1-hour flight. But using a plane is expensive. He must be quick and efficient on the ground or lose money.
Lead the way, Sharon, and we'll have a squiz.
Sharon Kelly looks after a road maintenance camp.
Well, I'm with my friend Brian. We camp together.
Out here, access to water is vital.
Yes.
Like this.
But their supply has slowed to a trickle.
Do you want to check the shower as well?
Yes, please, yeah. And trust me, mate, for this grader driver at the end of a long, hot day, this would be like going to the Ritz Hotel.
Scott's found the blockage.
That's our little problem there. We're going to get rid of that little restrictor because that's causing the pump to pulse. There we go. See how it's not pulsing anymore? That should make everyone happy.
With the water flowing again, the road team can get back on track, and so can Scott.
You feel like you've got all the comforts that you need when there's water available. It's a big operation, isn't it, to get a plumber out here?
Scott's next job is over 360 kilometres west.
Thank you.
Against the prevailing desert winds. He needs to get moving to avoid flying home in the dark.
Flying at night time is just not a safe.
In Western Australia, pilot Ash Williams is manoeuvring his chopper into position to begin cleaning insulation coils on live high-voltage power lines.
You basically got to clear your mind of everything and make sure you're focused. Very small margin for error.
One gust of wind.
Coming out. Ready.
One lapse of judgment could be fatal.
I'll come in closer.
Hovering this close to power lines creates an added danger.
There's a lot of voltage. It has the potential to jump from the line. You hope that never happens.
So far, so good, as Ash and Ben settle into a routine.
No rip at all. Beautiful.
Perfect corner.
With good flying conditions, the operation is making progress. But it's not just in the skies where things need to go according to plan. Ash and Ben rely on Harvey Holman to follow them with a mobile helipad, laden with purified water and fuel.
The helicopter is starting to run low on fuel, and I'm nowhere near them yet.
It's time to rendezvous, but the truck and chopper can't find each other.
You got eyes on me or what?
You're gone in behind some trees. I can't see anymore.
With Ash's fuel levels low, the pressure to find Harvey is growing, and with pressure comes mistakes.
Come back over to the line, Ash.
Where are you? You got me going away from the line.
Matt, where are you going now?
Grant and Matt Wellington are at the start of a $1.4 million cattle muster.
Where are you going?
Already they're battling to get on top.
I don't know. You told me to go and work them out of the gate, or you talk about these ones here.
A mob of cattle have got away from young Matt.
Okay, I'm going to start this again.
Forcing veteran Grant to step in.
These ones here got to go out the gate just there. You see that?
Yeah, yep.
As a rookie, learning on the job is tough, especially when your dad is the teacher.
I'm a lot less patient with Matt than I am of other people.
If you fly over the top of the gate looking at it, they're not going to go out, are they?
Nah.
It's going to be a long day, son.
Very sarcastic father.
On the ground, station manager Chris tracks the cattle, keeping the helicopters posted on what's happening. This is a critical muster.
There's around $1.4 million worth of cows he's putting in the yard today. It's a large chunk of our cash flow for the year, so yeah, it's all got to go like clockwork today. Over there, Matt.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, mate, a couple of these old girls sneaking out off to the
North here, eh? Coming off this fence like they're heading back towards the lake.
Yeah, right, I'll be out there in a ticket.
Right, I see you there. So you've only come to there?
Yeah, I've only just...
Matt's got me talking to him.
Righto.
He's got Grant talking to him on VHF.
You turn your back on them for 5 seconds and they're gone, then I'll...
Yes.
Grant and Matt have been in the air for 5 hours. And Matt has burned through his fuel quicker than his father.
Yeah, mate, how are you going for fuel?
15 minutes max.
With the herd coming together, his timing couldn't be worse.
So they've got to ground the helicopter and wait for me.
Matt needs to make his pit stop fast.
I'm probably going to slip around to Matt's side. He's going to show me where the back of his cattle is, because we're fairly close and I can work both sides while he's gone. But yeah, he won't have much time to fuel up, because I'll be screaming at him if he's any longer than about 5 minutes away.
Without Matt, Grant will have to fight hard to keep the cattle together.
As soon as the helicopters are gone for refuel, these cows start to come back out the gate, head back for the scrub. So this is when it can all go pear-shaped. Here they come. Yeah.
The cows are bolting. All the morning's hard work and a fortune could be lost.
That's awesome. That never gets old.
Scott Anderson is heading straight for Australia's famous Red Heart.
Over to our 11 o'clock position, there is Uluru.
Also known as Ayers Rock.
You've got this magnificent natural wonder that's just poked up out of the ground.
He has one more plumbing job to go, but he's fast running out of time to get it done before nightfall.
Getting a little bit bumpy now because we're out over a red sandy desert, so we're getting a few thermals and stuff like that.
Turbulence and strong headwinds are working against Scott.
Ayers Rocks are notoriously blowing when you bring it in and bring it on down. We're inbound, we've got approximately 14.2 miles to run.
This is a busy airport with over 300,000 people visiting every year. But there's no air traffic controller on the ground.
Right, base runway 31 at time 18.
Pilots must communicate with each other and decide on the landing order.
Estimating 10 mile final at time 19.
Scott's just discovered that a large passenger jet is also on final approach.
Jetstar 666 called inbound. He's currently 30 miles out. He's a lot faster than us, bigger and heavier. He's doing a straight-in approach to this runway. He moves much more quickly than us. His estimate time at that field is 19, so he is 60 seconds behind us.
Just a minute ahead of the airliner, Scott takes the next slot to land.
There's rock traffic, Jetstar 660, 10 mile final, straight in runway 31. There we go, we're on. A little bit rough because it's a little bit windy.
Scott has to get off the runway quickly.
When you've got the big iron behind you and you know he's coming in at about 300 k's an hour, you want to get off the runway pretty big.
We're on the ground now, so we're back to what we came here to do, which is put the plumber hat on.
Scott has to move fast, but to get to the job, he needs to hire a car, and the airport is swarming with tourists.
I'm stuck in a line.
He has just 2 hours before the sun sets, and his trip home gets dark and dangerous.
You got eyes on me or what?
In the skies of Western Australia, Ash is running critically low on fuel. He's lost visual contact with Harvey in the refuelling truck.
Yeah, where are you going though? You're going in behind some trees. I can't see anymore.
The two need to find each other fast or lose valuable time.
Did you turn to the left, turn to the right?
Where are you? You got to be going away from the line.
No, I'm on the other side. Well, I can't even see you anymore.
Come back over to the line, Ash.
Mate, you're going to have to come to us. We're getting low on fuel, so we're going to go back to that original spot where we landed.
Ash is forced to set the chopper down at their previous rendezvous point. For Harvey, it means backtracking.
They don't want to be having to land and shut down, waiting for me.
Finally, truck finds chopper and resupply can begin. .200 litres of purified water are pumped into the chopper. With that much weight on board, Ash can only take enough fuel for another 20 minutes of flying. Throughout the day, the team will need to make several of these pit stops. It's important the routine of flying, cleaning and refueling runs like clockwork. The work's intense, demanding high levels of concentration.
I'll come in closer here.
Late morning, the boys have been hard at it for 5 hours. Their conversation begins to drift.
Yeah, Melbourne Cup winner, that one.
Oh, yeah, naturally, they're all Melbourne Cup winners.
Ash knows this is a potentially dangerous state of mind.
You just want to make sure you're not losing focus throughout the day. You know, it's easy to do. Your mind can wander, so you got to be on your game there. But also, your other team member, we're always assessing each other.
He suspects Ben is thinking about other things.
Those ramps look pretty nice.
Not lunchtime yet,
Mate, it's always lunchtime.
Ash decides to take a break and refuel the chopper and Ben.
You know, if they haven't had food for a while, you know, start get irritated or start losing focus, and that's when accidents occur.
They're going to need all their concentration for the next job. A substation involving a labyrinth of wires and a massively increased energy field.
Back it down.
It's the most dangerous part of the operation.
5 metres.
In a remote corner of the Kimberley in northwestern Australia.
Yeah, you won't have much time to fuel up.
Matt Wellington stuck on the ground refueling.
We're going to get some action here.
A group of cows is bolting. Chris can't stop them.
Oh.
But Grant arrives just in time. To get this herd under control, Grant needs Matt back in the air.
You're behind the game there.
Come past you on that western fence there now, Dad.
Matt's airborne at last.
Yeah, right. Keep pushing.
The battle continues. After 6 hours of hard flying, they've pushed over 1,000 cattle to the edge of the yards. The finishing line is in sight, but the hardest part of the muster is still ahead. Now, the massive herd must be squeezed through a narrow slipway, and the gates closed behind them. Cattle don't like dead ends.
So you got everything pretty much tucked right in there?
Yeah, I think so.
Righto. Now when you yard up here, the best way to do it is to fly backwards and forwards, non-stop, just these nice little figure eights, not too high, not too low.
Yeah, yep.
Matt needs to be careful. Pushing too hard or too little could see them turn and bolt, and with them, an entire day's work. The cattle near Matt make a break for it. Pilot Ash and linesman Ben are about to clean the most dangerous section of the power grid, a substation. It'll require razor-sharp concentration and spot-on communication.
Ash relies on me a lot with just looking. Basically, I got his back. Anything that's around, he needs to know.
On some of those tight corner structures, Ben will actually have to hang out and look behind the aircraft and just make sure my tail's safe.
The boys approach with caution.
We'll just do an overview first and work out what we want to do, how we want to come in.
So they split earth wires and they drop down into the sub.
There are high voltage wires in every direction. To make matters worse, some of the insulation coils Ben needs to clean are difficult to access.
There's the requirement to actually get the blades in under, say, the earth wire or between two conductors, and sometimes we need to get the boom in between those wires.
Watch the gradient or that top phase, eh?
It's not for the faint-hearted, that's for sure.
Adding to the risk, the dense nest of wires creates a bigger electrical field and a much greater chance of power leaping from line to chopper.
Back and down.
Yep, watching. Keep going. 5 metres. Yep, you're good.
Using all of his flying skills, Ash moves the chopper into the most dangerous position of the operation.
I might just put my blades above that top phase wire.
The blades are now in between wires.
How's that angle? Good.
One surge in the wind or one false move could be fatal.
Yeah, a little bit of wind there from the left. Let's see how this one goes. Bit of a gust there. Easy daisy.
Stay with him. Yeah, yep. Get in there, Matt. Over.
Grant and Matt's $1.4 million muster is going horribly wrong. The cattle near Matt are making a break for it.
I'll grab him. Get out of the way now.
With the job on the line, Grant takes over. father gives son a masterclass in aerial mustering.
Come up, Roy, mate. Get up ready for this gate. It's nearly through.
The last of the cattle are now in the yards.
Pretty successful day, enough there to warrant a good sale out of that.
The first day is over. For Matt, it's been a huge lesson.
Doing a helicopter licence itself is hard enough. And then learning how to be a mustering pilot is twice as hard again.
The learning curve is about to get a whole lot steeper.
How you going, son?
Yeah, not bad. What's the plan tomorrow?
Day 2 will bring extreme terrain and a far wilder herd.
The first 3 hours in that paddock will be the hardest 3 hours of your life.
It'll also give Matt a chance to prove himself once and for all.
We'll go through it tonight after a beer and then go to bed and cry yourself to sleep.
Yeah, I don't know what you say to that.
We spent longer waiting in the rent-a-car line than we did flying from Alice Springs to Ayers Rock.
Flying plumber Scott is hours behind schedule as he races to his next job.
We've run late, things didn't go to plan. We've made it to the Yallara police station.
He wants to be back in the air and heading home before nightfall.
G'day.
He needs to fix a serious problem inside one of the police station's cells.
Oh, don't worry, we've had them worse than that, mate.
It's a dirty job, but someone has to do it.
Toilet's not working. You can't put anybody in that detention area because there's no sanitation. So what that's effectively done is taken part of the police station offline. It can't function as it should.
And he needs to do it quickly to avoid a nerve-wracking night flight home. Back on the road to the airport, Scott's racing the setting sun.
We're going to run pretty close. She's 4:45.
We'll be climbing 5,500, tracking outbound 059. Hey, let's get it on. We're into the sun when it's just low in the sky, so it makes it a bit tricky to see.
The dramatic orange landscape means only one thing.
It's already started to get into that twilight phase. Our day didn't run to plan. We had headwinds on the way out there. It took us several hours longer than it should have. It's put us on the way back to Alice Springs in the dark. You know, I don't ever plan jobs to fly back in the dark. That's one of my personal safety rules.
40 minutes into his flight, Scott is in a very lonely, dark sky.
You can't bloody see anything, that's the problem. So that's where the pressure goes up a little bit.
He has no radar and must rely on his instruments and radio communications. Scott's flying blind.
You've got to step your game up.
Adding to the pressure, the Alice Springs control tower shuts down for the night.
Alice Tower is now closed.
Okay, so that was where we're going. That's the Alice Springs Tower. No one's going to be there when we get there.
Finally ahead,
A bit of light gives you a bit of a sense of civilization, doesn't it?
Alice Springs. In darkness, a pilot relies on an airstrip to be lit. But tonight, some of the high-powered lights are not on.
We just have to deal with that. Start a descent. The key is to aim for the ground and just miss. Let's feel our way on. There we go, Rob. Always much better when you're on the ground.
Another successful landing.
Airplane did its job. Everything's good and happy.
Another huge day of Outback plumbing.
Close the hangar door and go and have a beer. Do it all over again tomorrow.
Ash and Ben are facing their biggest test yet. They're hovering just metres from a mass of high voltage wires. And now, dangerous winds are picking up.
Watching behind.
What's your tail? It's probably going to be the most challenging one.
They need to finish the job now before stormy weather sets in.
Low cloud, by the looks of it, coming from the south.
The winds make the chopper hard to control.
You better struggle there, mate.
Yeah, it's picked up again.
Overcompensate, and Ash could drag the helicopter into the wires. Suddenly,
Oh no!
the wind changes direction.
I'm getting wet too. Feel that wind now on the boom?
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
Oh, power's good, mate. I'll come up a bit there. Blade a little bit higher than that wire.
Looking good.
Ready when you are.
You're gonna have to do the work.
I'll do the work. Keep me on my toes.
Despite the hazards, Ash pushes on.
Always up for the challenge.
Just one more coil to finish.
Yeah. You feel that wind on the boom now? Yeah, right. There's that angle. Sort it out, mate. Oh, try, bro. Try.
Mission accomplished.
Homeward bound.
Back at camp, Ash has a surprise waiting for him.
All good, bro.
High five.
Yeah.
Good boy.
Where are the rotor blades?
There.
And where are the skids?
After a hard day's flying on the edge,
I reckon he's going to be a liney, mate.
for Ash, his family is a reminder that he must never forget the dangers he faces.
If you think you're fearless gung-ho, you need to get out of this game. Because you'll just end up having an accident and possibly killing yourself.
Next time, on Outback Pilots, Grant and Matt continue to lock horns with some bolshy bovine.
To your right, to your right.
Top-end pilot Teagan faces the landing of her life.
That runway's coming up real quick.
And powerline pilots Alex and Mick
Shock and crosswind.
are inches from disaster. Australia. Vast. Remote. Hostile.
Bloody hell, what a trip.
A dangerous place.
Holy shit.
To be a pilot. Battling hazardous terrain. With split-second decisions.
Still at 35,000 volts.
Jesus me.
Men and women getting the job done.
Welcome to the war. This is it here.
These are Australia's Outback Pilots.
Oh shit, bloody hell.
Putting it all on the line for a life in the skies.
That's the Outback flying. You get what you get.
This time on Outback Pilots, father and son mustering team Mick and Matt continue to lock horns with some bulky bovine and each other.
To your right, to your right. What? To your right.
Top-end pilot Teagan
That runway wave's coming up real quick.
Gets trapped in a brewing tropical storm.
We're not meant to be here.
And powerline pilots Alex and Mick battle high winds.
Shock and crosswind.
And high voltage power lines.
Get down the level like a bastard.
I just need to know where your tail is there. I'll do a little bit of cleaning up.
In remote northwestern Australia, Grant Wellington and son Matt are in the middle of the biggest job they've ever tackled together.
I haven't got out anything out my side of that road.
24-year-old Matt is a rookie in one of the most dangerous jobs in aviation.
Matt, where are you going now?
What?
Where the f*** are you going?
I don't know. You told me to go and work them out of the gate, or you talking about these ones here?
He's getting plenty of fatherly advice from the old bull in the sky.
Stay with him.
Yeah, yep.
Get in there, Matt. I'll f*** you over. I'll grab him. Look out of the way now.
Yeah, I'm well out behind you, way behind you.
Righto, that's it for there.
End of day one, and they have nearly $750,000 worth of cattle in the yards. But for Matt, it's been a hard-fought lesson.
But as soon as you take that pressure off and cruise around, they see that opening behind you, and as soon as you're not there, they just, if they want to go, they just go.
The job is only half done. Tomorrow will be a whole new ball game. At least 1,000 head of cattle in a 400 square kilometre paddock of dense scrub.
The first 3 hours in that paddock will be the hardest 3 hours of your life.
Yeah, I don't know what you say to that.
We'll go through it tonight after a beer, and then go to bed and cry yourself to sleep.
Day two. In the pre-dawn darkness, they're eager to get airborne. First, safety checks.
This is a fuel drain. It's a legal requirement to check the fuel after every refuelling and at the first flight of every day. You're checking it for contaminants. That's clean.
Grant's Robinson 44 is good to go. But Matt has a serious problem.
I flicked the master switch and nothing happened.
This crucial job hangs in the balance. With the clock ticking, Grant needs to find a mechanic, and fast.
Wake up, boys.
There has been known cases where it can just snap your wings off. The updrafts and the downdrafts will be that strong.
In the top end of Australia, Teagan is facing her greatest fear. Violent tropical storms.
There are quite a few documented cases of people losing their lives, just the plane's broken up in flight due to the forces, or you can be sucked up right up into the top of the atmosphere and run out of oxygen, die. It's horrible, so steer clear of the storms.
7 years at the controls, Teagan now works for a small start-up airline, Arafura. From tropical islands to jungle camps, Arafura will fly anywhere in the Northern Territory, if there's somewhere to land.
Teagan.
Yeah.
It's a cutthroat business where every passenger counts.
I like to think we win a lot of people over with good personalities and trying to be on time, and probably my sense of humour wins 90% of the work.
For Teagan, humour is a way of coping with a job where she must do just about everything herself.
My job is to keep the plane clean, keep the passengers in line with corporal punishment. Pole dancing is a good thing to learn, really keeps them entertained, especially during the brief. If you try to work in a bit of a sexy move, people actually pay attention then. So yeah, you definitely have to have the body for the job, which I do.
Teagan has ambitions to be more than just a pilot who tells jokes. She wants to go pro in the world of stand-up.
I do have a comedy show coming up. I have a big enough and stupid enough ego to think that I can make a go of it.
But company founder Ahish wants Teagan's mind on the job. His business is young and he wants to build a reputation of reliability.
So far, we've been 99.9% on time or ahead of schedule. Keep it that way or even improve it even more.
But the first job of the day is already putting that tough target under threat.
So we've got a Port Keats flight and just checking with the operations if there's 3 or 4 passengers. So we've got 2 more people coming through.
When I originally found out about the booking, I believed there was 3 people, and as it turns out, someone's tagging along. Oh, no idea where Kathy is. No answer.
Everything looks pretty good out here, so I'm right to go in.
In South Australia, crack helicopter team Alex Shuttlefield and Mick are getting ready for a death-defying day's work.
All right, mate, move in. More visual.
For days, they've been waiting for safe weather conditions.
Unfortunately, with the high over Australia at the moment and the low fronts bashing up underneath, it's made this part of South Australia a complete wind tunnel. Last week we had winds that were 50 kilometres, gusting in excess of 90.
In their line of work, one burst of wind could spell disaster.
You have to keep the wire very, very still, otherwise it becomes very difficult for the pilot to hold position.
Alex and Mick are in the risky business of aerial powerline maintenance.
A lot of things happen all at once.
It requires precision flying and nerves of steel.
3, 2, 1.
These high voltage lines are close to a major airport. They're a deadly hazard for low-flying planes. It's Alex and Mick's job to make the line safe.
We've been contracted to install aerial marker warning balls. They're there to highlight where the power lines are so that any low-flying aircraft can identify where the transmission lines actually are and can avoid them.
Visibility greater than 10 kilometres. Cloud.
To get the job done, they'll need to hover amongst the power lines.
Eyes up, legs up, lift up, back out, turn around, taxi out.
And make contact with the wires carrying 275,000 volts.
Okay, all coming off, mate. Righty, mate, you're coming up.
If they get too close to a second wire, tower, even a tree, a lethal circuit could form, killing both of them.
What we have got is a high wire and a low wire. Yep. But I don't think it's worth the risk. Roger, mate.
This has already been a mammoth job.
The sun is breaking from behind those clouds right about now. Yeah, mate. It's a balmy 10 degrees up here. So
the team has been away from home for nearly 3 weeks.
Very, very challenging to do those long tours.
800, clear down our Zulu.
I miss my family terribly, particularly my wife and my kids.
It's jobs like these where accidents can happen.
The consequences of something going wrong are going to result in a very, very bad day.
At today's starting point, Alex and Mick are confronted with bad news.
The conditions up here are substantially different from the actual forecast. It's even worse, the gusting is significant, so we can't maintain a stable platform to be able to put the balls on the line.
The wind has picked up again.
It's getting a bit frustrating that we're sitting around a lot.
Wake up, boys.
At Marada Station in remote northwestern Australia, it's a bad start to a big day for chopper musterer Grant Wellington and his son Matt.
I just walked over the helicopter there this morning and flicked the master switch and nothing happened. The helicopter's dead until that gets fixed.
Their reputation is at stake with station manager Chris Daniel.
Chris is paying for us to be there with 2 helicopters and to get those cattle in. We can't at the end of the day say, well, that didn't work. We'll come back tomorrow and have another go. That's not an option, never is.
Grant managed to track down a mechanic.
I'm going to drop all the valves out.
They try and diagnose the problem.
I'll get in there, get back.
while Matt gives it one last go.
Matt's just gone and turned the master on.
We just left that master switch on and it's decided to come on, I guess, and start working. So yeah, we don't have to get the engineer out here, we don't have to get another pilot over. Basically we can, you know, start the job and continue on as planned.
The faulty switch has cost them time. Already an hour behind schedule, they need to crack on.
Getting up now.
Welcome to the war. This is it here. I actually might do this end because it's a bit wider here, the scrub.
Oh, yep, righto.
While Grant and Matt begin their search for cattle, Station Manager Chris is loading fuel to resupply the choppers. He will coordinate the muster from the ground. He needs his herd in the yards by sundown, ready for market.
We've got a road train coming tomorrow, so once we start drafting, those cattle will go straight on the truck. So the pressure's on the pilots again to make it happen.
But first, Grant and Matt need to find the cattle.
You find much in there?
Nah, nothing in here yet.
And the terrain below isn't helping.
The scrub in there is as thick as the hairs on a cat's back, and they've been running back into that, and you don't actually get a chance to see them. You won't even know what cattle you've lost.
For Chris, time is money.
The helicopter's around, $400 an hour. It probably cost me $5,000 or $6,000 today in helicopter hours.
I'm not bumping into too many cattle here, which is never a good sign.
Well, we'll give it 10 minutes and... Unless you want to go, it's up to you.
For Teagan, a missing passenger is threatening the airline's nearly perfect departure and arrivals record.
They think she's not coming. We can't get in touch with her, and it's past our departure time now, so sorry if you wanted to come. Might get these bags around the front. There are 2 emergency exits on the plane. This is one. Clear prop. Make sure there's no locks left in or anything. Just make sure there's full and free movement. Nothing's seized up.
This flight is to the remote Indigenous community of Port Kitts, nearly an hour's flying time.
Everyone good?
To get back on schedule, she'll need to make up at least 10 minutes. Not easy in a plane this age.
It's a 1978 Cessna 310R. It's nearly twice my age. But this one flies pretty well for what it is.
For once, the temperamental tropical weather is playing into her hands.
No turbulence, no rain, no storm.
45 minutes later, and she's back on track.
Traditionally, if we're flying below the level right now, it can be quite a bit rougher. So we just got 6 minutes till we land. So whenever we come to an airport for the first time before landing, best practice is to fly over, check out the windsock, make sure there's nothing on the runway.
Teagan has 1,400 hours of bush piloting experience, but landing is still hazardous, especially out here.
You never know in communities like this what could end up being on there. Dogs, buffaloes, crocodiles, sheep, cows. Stopping to Tango turns finals on 034 Port Key. This is probably one of the most critical phases of flight right now. A lot of accidents occur on takeoff and landing.
Pilot lands.
She's on time and a perfect landing.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good.
Yeah? Cool. Good luck. Thanks, buddy. I don't get that often. Yes, go me, and on camera. I'm pretty flattered. He's an airport worker, so he must see a lot of planes come in and out, and probably thought, oh, here's some chick. She's got no idea. But I'll show him.
Teagan needs to head home quickly. Afternoon storm clouds are building.
Just checking over my instruments as a good pilot should.
But it's not just the weather she needs to worry about.
Notice down here, this one here, so that little red nipple bit there, should be like this one, it should be hiding. We've actually lost one of our vacuum pumps on the left engine. But if we were to lose the second one, then basically we could just kiss goodbye to our gyroscopic instruments. It could be potentially very, very disastrous.
As you can see by the full rack on the chopper, they didn't get any done.
Strong winds have grounded precision chopper pilot Alex and his high voltage power line team.
Leaves us significantly annoyed at not being able to get the work done.
It's time for Plan B.
See if we can find a slightly more protected area. Possibly some gullies there where it's not blowing up the valley like it is now.
The new location is over 30 kilometres away.
Hopefully the weather down there is not as gusty as here, so we can get some of these balls up in the air today.
While Alex flies, the crew face a slow-going mountain highway.
Probably about half an hour or so away. Pretty windy road. With the way the wind is in this area, it's not funneling up the gorges like it was further up to the north. We're good here, this is a lot better spot.
After so much time has been lost, they can finally get to work.
It's all about maximising the small windows you get to put the greatest amount of balls that you can get up.
All of Alex's 19 years of flying are about to be put to the test. The rotors of his turbocharged chopper will need to come within metres of high voltage cables.
Miles, contact tower 120.5.
Opportunities for things to go horribly wrong lurk everywhere.
It's all about how you think. We've had 3 worst-case scenarios. I know what the worst-case scenario is. I've seen it. And that means that some guy doesn't go home and there's a widow and 2 kids that sit at home without a father.
Visual wire ready to go in.
If there was to be some sort of malfunction with a helicopter, there's not a lot of places to land up there. It takes a lot of concentration. Being slow and predictable is the key to actually getting the job done safely.
Okay, going on now. Okay,
Suddenly a gust of wind.
it's gonna leave like a bastard.
Mick's work platform is under the wire.
I'm not bumping into too many cattle here. What about yourself?
Nah, nothing in here yet.
In the Kimberley, Western Australia, Grant and Matt Wellington's massive mustering job is off to a bad start. There should be $750,000 worth of cattle roaming this 400 square kilometre plain.
What about you?
Oh, 1s and 2s. Yeah, half a dozen or so.
Yeah, yep, righto.
2 hours in, and they've found almost nothing.
Yeah, I only seen, 3 head, probably half a K up from me.
They head to a watering hole, hoping to find the herd there.
Nothing. I haven't actually come across anything.
Oh,
Today might not be the money spinner station manager Chris was hoping for.
I will be a bit concerned if we get down this next 5 kilometres and, there's only about 200 head. Yeah, I was hoping we were going to get a lot more up this end, but you never can tell.
You out of the gully yet?
No, we're still sort of working head-to-head there at the moment. A bit of a lack of real large numbers down here.
Roger.
Near the station boundary, Grant discovers the problem.
Yeah, fence is all knocked down.
Oh, really?
Gates down here too, Matt.
A broken fence is an easy escape route for the cattle they've been looking for. But this way out is also a way in.
There's some on your side bank there still.
Mobs of wild cattle are heading inside the broken fence line.
Yeah, got him here.
With numbers down, these feral intruders could be the difference between success and failure. They can be mustered and sold to replace the missing stock.
Bush cattle?
Yeah, roger.
But they're notoriously unpredictable and dangerous.
We got one right here in front of me now. He's blocking the road, actually.
Is that a red fella with a white face?
No, he's got big round eyes and a big set of horns. He's standing right in the middle of the road. He's not moving.
It's a standoff. Chris and his truck versus a half-ton wild bull.
Usually those bulls, they've got this pressure zone around them, so anyone comes within that pressure area, they'll go and sort it out.
It's a bit off-putting when you look down to see your instrument here and it's telling you that your plane's descending very quickly.
In the tropical north, Teagan's in trouble. She's at high risk of instrument failure. One of the plane's 2 pumps has stopped.
It could be potentially very, very disastrous.
If the second one goes, she'll lose pressure to the instruments and have no information on altitude, airspeed or direction.
I don't really want to be flying it around in the condition that it's in. It's much more longer than we have to.
Her destination is in sight, Darwin Airport.
Darwin Tower, Foxtrot Victor Tango.
But then...
Foxtrot Victor Tango, Darwin Tower.
So we're going in there, but we've got to make a bit of a diversion out this way. There's a plane in front of us who's going a bit slower, so we've got to give him time to get in.
More time in the air, Teagan doesn't need.
Got a fair bit of a crosswind happening here. Sort of coming on a bit of an angle to counteract the wind. Righty, I'm just going to sort of drop a bit lower than normal. Pop up and just give you a little bit extra lift and sort of cause you to balloon a bit. The excuse I always use, at least when I do a bad one.
It's straight to the workshop for urgent repairs. Luckily, the next job will need a different aircraft.
We're in our smaller Piper Lance today. It's a bit lighter, can get off a bit quicker and keep us a bit safer.
On a trip of a lifetime is a happy holidaying couple wanting to spend a romantic afternoon on a tropical island.
How are we doing, guys? Going to Crab Claw today?
Crab Claw Island has a dangerously short strip, one that Teagan has never landed on before.
Does that scare you?
No.
No. Really? Scares me.
If they aren't aware of the dangers they're about to face, they will be when Teagan's finished briefing.
We have to have a list of the names of all the passengers in case something actually happens to the plane. Someone on the ground can work out who is on the flight and who was on the flight.
Never been to Crab Claw before. That'll be interesting. Wish me luck, guys.
Landing on a narrow, short, overgrown strip she's never laid eyes on, Teagan will need all the luck she can get. In South Australia, Alex and Mick are battling gusting winds just centimetres from high voltage power lines.
Shock and crosswind.
One false move could lead to electrocution or a crash.
Right up the arse, mate.
A gust pushes them too close for comfort.
I don't think it's worth the risk.
Yeah, Mick, I think we might be giving a bit of a mess.
Yeah, I'm looking at the gust now, mate. Up there, look at that.
Yeah, look, those trees up there. My wishes didn't come true on this one. We'll have to land and shut down.
As they wait for the winds to die down, Mick discovers another problem.
Mate, I've got nothing happening down here.
A glitch in the GPS tracking unit.
Okay, it's got all the locations of the where we have to put the balls. They have to be put at precise locations.
Without it, they can't accurately map the areas that need to be made safe.
At the moment, the wind has dropped off for us to be able to put some balls on it. All we need now is we'll get the DES tablet working. There we go.
Charge point there doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
Malfunction corrected. The men are back in the air.
Okay, 75 from 109, yeah?
That is correct.
Don't forget if we have a emergency landing, we've got a wire ahead of us.
All right, mate, visual with the wire moving.
All right, that's on. Okay, marker point achieved. Running off.
Once a ball is attached, it's photographed and confirmed on the GPS tracker. The boys' work is spot on.
On a 740, request cancel speed restriction.
But the computer has a new problem.
Virus floating.
I'm just going to reboot it to get everything back online again.
Mick needs to fix this fast before the wind builds up again.
Blocking the road, actually.
Station manager Chris Daniel is battling to coordinate a muster. And now he's in a standoff with a half-ton wild bull.
Oh, he's letting me pass, righto. Thanks, old man. With a roadblock, but anyway.
Having lost so many cows to a broken fence, Grant and Matt are under pressure to round up as many wild beasts as possible.
You got a tail that you're actually pushing along there or not?
Yeah, there's a few mobs there that are coming in.
Chris is banking on the wild ones to make up for the lost numbers.
Grant, if you could bring some cows over. Getting nervous.
Yeah, I'm just about at Beirut, eh?
Right.
It's all last minute. You don't find out until you get into the yards and actually see what you've got. So sometimes you got your heart in your mouth thinking, you know, are they going to be there at the end of the day? There's no guarantees out here. Not at all.
Digging the hills, you know they? Oh, they're panic.
We've got helicopters, half a dozen stockmen and agents all going to be there at the same time, so it's a bit embarrassing if you've organised all this and you get about 200 head in the yard.
It won't just be embarrassment Chris faces if this muster fails. The total bill for 2 days is over $17,000.
Yeah, you've just got to go with it and hope for the best, I suppose. Yeah, has he got a big mob, has he, or is only a couple?
Chris is in luck. Grant and Matt have rounded up 800 head, nearly $500,000 worth.
We'll move in on them, put them through the gate.
But the job's not done until the cows are in the yard.
Going to be a little bit lively here, I think.
Looks that way, doesn't it?
They're jumping and forced into narrow spaces.
Just keep the pressure, that's all we got to do, Matt.
Part of the herd makes a break for it.
All right, back it up there, Matt.
It's now or never for Matt to step up and prove what he can do.
See that bull, Matt, right up front there? Drop out that southern side there, quick.
Above a remote, rugged landing strip, Teagan is about to attempt her first ever landing at Crabclaw Island.
We're going to come in and land that way.
Short, narrow, and with trees either side, she'll need to hold her nerve.
Bloody hell, she's short.
Those trees are a lot higher than I thought. I sort of came in and went, Jesus Christ, they're a bit, how you doing? A little bit narrower than I would have liked, but it's good enough for us. But geez, I'm glad we didn't bring the big one in here. That would have been a bit more of a disaster, especially with the length of it. We're here.
For the rest of the afternoon, the couple can enjoy the romantic island, while Teagan gets mentally prepared.
It's going to be a bit of a critical takeoff on this one.
2 hours later, it's time to go. Teagan has less than 900 metres to get her 40-year-old Piper Cherokee Lance off the ground.
Earplugs or... Alrighty, let's get out of here. Alright, seatbelt on?
Yep.
For traffic, Romeo Kilo uniform, rolling runway 15 for Darwin. That runway is coming up real quick. Alright, she's a short one, I'm glad we're not heavy. Bloody hell. Alright, those trees came up quick.
Romeo Kilo uniform, remain outside class here, space standby.
Please wait.
The Powerline chopper team is grounded again with a dodgy tracker system.
We're just trying to get the GPS working now. What were we saying before about wanting to throw it in the river?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
And so no, I was just trying to get it to talk to satellites.
Oh, come on. GPS started. There it is. Well, Bill Gates has come through for us. It might be going to work now. Windows 10, we're away.
They're back on the job, but the boys must resist trying to make up for lost time. Push too hard and mistakes can be made.
Let me go down a little bit lower and have a look there, Mick.
And for the next stretch of line, they'll need every ounce of concentration.
As soon as it starts to gust up, it might be a bit of a pain in the arse. We'll see how it goes though.
It's near a substation with multiple power lines in every direction.
Wires in front, wires to the left.
Adding to the hazards, tall trees and a main road below.
No. The wire over here.
Yeah, right here.
Fundamental problem with these really small wires is they move a lot. I'll try to control that best I can.
This will require perfect flying in perfect weather conditions.
What do you think? I'm thinking I don't like it very much.
Okay.
The wind is back.
Only because we've got to move around a fair bit and I don't want to get that toe under the wire.
Forecast has just been so unpredictable at the moment, so it's too windy. They've headed back to Parafield, so we're heading back now too.
The job's off again.
It's pretty stiff.
Yeah. The boys are no closer to going home.
Yeah, I'll come around from this north, I'll come down the lane then out.
On Murridah Station, Western Australia, today's muster is at a crucial stage.
Well, it's a numbers game. We've put 1,000 out here, and you want to get 90-odd% in the yard.
A group of cattle are making a break for it, triggering a stampede. Grant and Matt need to stop them or risk losing the entire herd.
I'll stay back on this tail. Hold your position.
The last 2 days of mustering have tested father and son. But this is the greatest test of all.
Get up those there and that tail there. Shift across. To your right, to your right, to your right.
Matt's moment of truth has arrived. He must block a bull from leading the entire mob back to the bush.
Just sit there, he'll go straight underneath you, that old... Just got to hang there. Nice.
For Grant and Matt, it's job done.
Good result because we got 100% from the cooler into the yard. What the boys put in the paddock, that's the good result.
For us, that was going to be you know, a pretty tough paddock. But it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't as bad.
You don't have to cry yourself to sleep tonight, son. Yeah, I was on him all day. No, he did a pretty good job from what I could see.
Oh yeah, it always feels good when you get in there early enough and you catch an animal. It's always good to get, you know, to have a win.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Well done, son.
I'll catch up with you in town.
You will. You will. Tight.
Got a bit of a sort of three-leg hop on today.
A new day has dawned in the tropical north. Teagan's Cessna 310 is back in action and just in time. Managing Director Adhish has a busy schedule for her.
Firstly, we're off to a place called Outback in the heart of Kakadu. Dropping off a lady there, I believe something to do with work, and as far as I know, she has a lot of bags. Then we've got a short hop over to another airstrip, and we're picking up 3 people there. I've been told to pick them up at 11, so if I got any delays this morning, if this lady turns up late to go to Outback, and if her bags turn out to be hard to fit in. Basically, if anything goes wrong, I'm stuffed today. I hate days like this. Oh, they do, so that's the same.
The passenger, Alison,
oh my God,
is heading off to a remote community to work and live, and has brought everything but the kitchen sink.
Bloody hell. It's our biggest plane.
I stuffed it. It's wet season and it's roads cut, so it's the only option.
I don't think we can take out of it.
Yeah, there's a big Dino.
Yeah, let's take the Dino out. Now we are in with a chance. I think this will work. Come on.
There we go.
That's it. I really thought this model through. Clear up.
While Teagan is ready to go, mechanical problems continue to dog her 1978 Cessna.
Oh, you bugger. Third time lucky. Visual, clip take off runway 11. Take it.
After finally getting the old workhorse airborne, an even older enemy has arrived.
There's a big cloud building up there in the background, and that's the sort of stuff that's going to give you a lot of trouble. Even the big guys will avoid stuff like that if they can. A storm like that, they form so quickly, and as you fly past them, you can actually see the clouds pretty much just exploding in front of your face. Like, they grow incredibly quickly up here. You can't really fly through it, and I'm a bit worried that if I continue on, that the cloud underneath me will sort of fill in, and then I'll get there and won't be able to get below it.
Teagan's predictions are coming true.
Clouds we've got below us, these cumulus type clouds are the ones that usually build into thunderstorms. Just worried that from now on the clouds usually only build up, so I'm worried that this might actually thicken up, give us a bit of trouble. We're not meant to be here. Sorry.
The plane's about to be trapped between 2 layers of cloud.
There has been known cases where it can just snap your wings off. The updrafts and the downdrafts will be that strong.
Teagan needs to find a way out fast before it combines into the perfect storm.
There's cloud everywhere.
Flying around a bit there. Yeah, I can feel it down here.
High wind and now fog have left the power line crew grounded. They've been away from home for 3 weeks and morale has plummeted.
One of the largest problems we've had over the years is keeping employees because they don't like being away from their families. And if they can't handle it, they choose to leave.
To get the job done, Mick makes one last request of the ground crew.
Is everybody okay if we go home Saturday instead of Friday? So we'll plan to work all day on Friday. Yeah? Everyone's happy? Yeah. Yeah.
With the team agreeing, Alex and Mick will need the next day to go smoothly.
All right, well, the best thing we can do now is have a quiet out. What do you reckon?
Sounds good.
At last, the wind has dropped, but now there are other problems.
The areas themselves are heavily scrubbed. Not a lot of emergency landing zones for us. today we're working on some of our longest spans. Very small earth wire that likes to move around a lot when you touch it, and we're putting quite a bit of weight with all the balls. So there'll be a fair bit of movement in the wire today.
And then there's rain.
Spits on the windscreen too, mate.
We can't fly through too much rain because we've got electrics out there.
To avoid the rain clouds, the boys move to a different location. But here, they're confronted with a new danger.
The poise trying to do her wire. She's pretty slack.
This time, it's a sagging line.
How gently I'll put this rod. Still goes down a long way, doesn't it, mate?
A strong electric field surrounds the towers and cables. If the line droops to within 3 metres of another wire, it could short out the system, with lethal consequences for Alex and Mick.
Hello, 235,000 volts. Jesus, Mick. Just come up a little bit. Yeah.
Each ball adds weight, and the slack line is getting closer to the other wires.
That's just scary. A lot of bounce. You're gonna live like a bastard.
Just one more to go.
Gonna get a bit of swing in that wire.
It's on.
Okay, good to go. All right, mate.
21 days battling wind and rain in a dangerous high wire act is finally over.
No worries. See you later. Thanks for harassing us.
The forecast was really poor this week, so all up we reached a target, and we're very happy with that.
After an epic week, the boys can finally head home.
I miss my family. We all have a nice reunion. It's good to see each other, and it's also good to see all the guys go home safe to their families too.
Next time on Outback Pilots, it's Tony Patrick's desperate hunt to save his farm.
There's plenty of things that can go wrong.
Teagan Allett takes on dangerous storms.
I'm lost. I don't know where we're going.
And Chris Howard fights fire with fire.
Pretty dangerous.
On a precision bombing road.